Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the January 14th, 2026 Civil Service Commission meeting. May I please get roll call?
Yes. Commissioner McGrabian,
Here.
Commissioner Jihanian,
Here.
Commissioner Reen,
Here.
Commissioner Naravian,
Here.
Chair Hatamian.
Here. May I please get the next item?
Flag salute.
Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next item, please.
Minutes, consideration of the minutes of the December 10th, 2025 meeting.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
Move that we approve the minutes.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you. May I please get a roll call?
Yes. Commissioner McGrabian,
Yes.
Commissioner Jihanian,
Yes.
Commissioner Reen,
Yes.
Commissioner Naravian,
Yes.
Chair Hatamian.
Yes. Next item, please.
Oral communications. Mr. Chair, members of the commission, I do have one card. Edgemon Hakobian.
Mr. Hakobian, please approach.
Thank you. Good evening. I wasn't planning to be here today, but after the remarks of Chair Hatamian and Commissioner Megrabian last time, I find it necessary to come here and clarify it. I want to ask you to take your own advice, Mr. Chair. Be specific when you're making remarks and make sure you're making correct statements and you're taking notes correctly. This is where your mistake was last time. I came here to talk about risk of nepotism. I'm not going to go into that. Then I talked about Mr. Garcia's conduct at the Charter Review Committee. You made a mistake of the comment saying I was commenting on Mrs. Varpetian's conduct at the Charter Review Committee. That wasn't what I was talking about. So be specific and take it next time. Lastly, and most importantly, this is where I spend most of my time. I was asking you, I believe this was the right forum for this. I was asking you to give directions or look into Ms. Varpetian's conduct and professional opinion on the matter of increasing the number of meetings at the audit committee and also allowing the audit committee to conduct more audits. Your response, which I appreciate the core of it, it was that it's not in the purview of this committee to look into that. So I think that's where you should have left your comments and we could have moved on. However, you and especially Megrabian made irresponsible remarks, especially towards the end of the meeting. You have time and you're welcome to ask me for follow-up questions. If this is not in the purview of the meeting, why do you go out of your way to mischaracterize what people are saying? Ms. Megrabian, you said, I believe you said that you gathered your thoughts for an hour to make a statement, and you falsely claimed that I said Ms. Varpetian her conduct is unethical and illegal. I was very specific and I was very careful not to use those comments because that's not my role to characterize it. What I said is like I disagree with her professional opinion. That's it. And then you went beyond that. You classified yourself and your colleagues as smart attorneys. Why are you here? Are you here to listen to the public, help them out? If it's not in your purview, just say it's not in your purview and move on. Do you really have to qualify yourself and say you are a smart attorney? Or extrapolate and misconstrue my statements? I have worked with the city staff and other commissioners, and I've always in private and publicly when there was an opportunity. I thanked them for their service. And if I had any criticism of any task that they've done, it's been very specific on the task, not their character. Okay? So next time you're taking as you said, you're taking 1 hour to gather your thoughts, please don't spew nonsense. It's irresponsible and ignorant at best. Okay? Mr. Chair, at the end of your remarks, you said we're a public servant, this type of accusations happen, and you asked Ms. Varpetian to brush it off. Do you think that's responsible or ignorant? Coming from a public official, as you claim yourself to be. How do you know other people haven't worked with public officials? How do you know other people that are coming to these meetings and talking to you, they haven't been a chair or a committee member? Are you full of yourself? Do you really think that this role here is that important? If you're not serving the committee, why are you here? Do you feel important? Thank you. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer. And please don't keep it till the end. I'm here. I'll be happy to talk to you.
I'll be happy to make comments.
Oh, come on.
I do not spew nonsense, and the statement and allegation is unprofessional, inappropriate, and uncalled for. I am not ignorant. You calling me names is an immature behavior. The record of what you said last time and what I said is on the record. I don't need to explain it, and I have the right to make the statements I did, just like you have the right to make the statements you did. You want to call me irresponsible, ignorant, and spewing nonsense, you have the right to say whatever you say over there, and I have the right to respond. I do not need to respond to you because I simply don't need to respond to you.
But you just did.
I will not respond to you with anything more than that, because your point here is to be insulting.
No.
And I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here
Not
to
arguing.
listen to you, and you are allowed to say whatever you
Not
say.
listening.
And when you're done, you can move on with your day. Chair?
It's
Yes,
really no
Mr.
different.
Mr. Chair, I would just say that this is not a back and forth
No,
discussion.
but we have to,
If the speaker has concluded his comments, he is free to sit down.
He can stay up there. It's not an issue to me. So I think last time it's kind of similar to, kind of the demeanor for this time around. It's very hard for us to understand someone who's disgruntled, right? Who's upset, because sometimes things get murky in our emotions. So, one thing I'm trying to gather from your presentation today, and I'm trying to sincerely understand what you are requesting of this commission, because it is muddled with different kinds of accusations. As my vice chair mentioned, the record speaks for itself. It's recorded. The meetings are recorded. Some of the verbiage that you allege that I use, it's not even in my vocabulary, but that's okay. You have the right to speak here, right? Mm-hmm. But I want to make sure you get heard, because I do see that you're frustrated and I do see that you're angry. So you said...
I'm not angry.
Okay, but you said your request is, and I want to understand this, you said your request is to increase the number of meetings. That's your first request. And then your second request is to conduct more meetings.
May
Is
I
that
clarify?
For the audit committee.
for the audit
May
committee?
I clarify?
It's just, I think it's on the record. You just need to say it's a yes or no, that's your request today, because,
You're confused.
okay. So tell us what your request is, because that's what you stated earlier and it's on the record.
Okay.
That you said, one, I want, and I wrote it down as you were speaking. You said, one, I want more number of meetings. And the second thing, I want the city to conduct more meetings.
No. I asked you to take better notes. I said that this time around, you clarified that my request that I made I was emphasizing what my request was last time,
Okay.
for you guys to look into her conduct,
Okay.
for the audit committee and the exchange that happened there. You said it's not within your purview, and I'm saying that's okay, but you should have ended it there. Your additional comments, in my opinion, is irresponsible.
Okay,
That's
fair
it.
enough. Fair enough. That's your opinion. So
take better notes,
what is
please.
the request, though? What is your
I have
request?
no request. I was here to clarify.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much for.
You're welcome.
approaching.
Take better
Have a good day.
notes.
Next item, please.
Recruitment examination report.
Ms. Martin.
Mr. Chair and members of the commission, this is the recruitment and examination status report, which represents the current recruitments in process and the various stages of examination. Staff is currently managing 38 active processes. If the commission has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, this is a note and file item.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Any questions? I see none. May I please get the next item?
Eligible lists established.
Ms. Martin.
Mr. Chair and members of the commission, these are the eligible lists that were established since our last meeting. The report includes the total number of applications received, as well as the number of applicants who participated in each stage of the examination process. Overall, a total of 7 lists were established since our last meeting, 4 promotional, 2 open, and 1 which was a combined open and promotional list. If the commission has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, this too is a note and file item.
I don't have any questions, but I have a request, a kind request. This is a really small font. It's like size 6 or something. If we can have it a little bit bigger so I'm not really hurting myself reading it, I'd really appreciate it. I will also try to get better glasses.
Understood. We'll see what we can do to increase the font and reduce the columns.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from my fellow commissioners? I see none. Moving on to the next item. Ms. Martin?
Reorganization of the commission, select a new chair and vice chair. And Mr. Chair, we do have one speaker card from Edmund Hakobian.
Of course. Mr. Hakobian, please approach.
Oh, thank you for the opportunity to talk to you again. I hope you're taking better notes this time around.
Thank you, Mr. Barber.
You're
Please
welcome.
continue.
Chairing a committee is not a symbolic position. It's a working role that directly affects whether a body produces results or waste of time, which is what you are doing. The chair is responsible for setting expectations, maintaining order, and ensuring that the committee's work actually moves forward, which you're failing. When that role is executed well, the committee functions with purpose, which you don't have. When it's not, the meeting becomes unfocused, decisions stall, and credibility erodes, as it's happening here. The first quality of an effective chair must have is a firm command of the process. Process is not bureaucracy, it's the framework that allows fair discussion and timely actions. A chair who understands procedure knows when to allow debate and when it's has run its course and when it's time to move on. Second, chair needs a practical subject matter understanding, which you don't have. They do not need to be the smartest person. You guys are not the smartest lawyers, as we claimed last time, Mrs. Megrabian, and that's my opinion. And you have to hear it. Without the baseline knowledge, a chair becomes dependent on others and loses controls of discussions. Third, the fairness and neutrality are essential. The chair must apply the same rules to everyone and manages participation evenly. You're biased at best. Another critical quality is decisiveness. Committee rarely achieves full consensus, and waiting for it often means accomplishing nothing. A strong chair knows when it's enough information has been presented and when they need to move on and make a decision. Accountability is also central to the role, which you demonstrated you don't have. Your focus is mainly on pandering and patting each other in the back, especially you, Mr. Hatamian, and Mrs. Megrabian. Outcomes matter, and the chair is ultimately responsible for whatever the committee delivers them. Clear communication cannot be overlooked, which you're lacking miserably. An effective chair summarizes discussions accurately, which you can't, state its motions clearly, and ensures that the decisions are understood and properly recorded. You are having a very hard time taking simple notes, and you're calling yourself a very smart attorney. Independence is equally important. This is the civil service chair. You have to be unbiased and hear the public. Why are you here then? A chair must be able to resist the pressure from staff, which you can, interest groups, or internal factions. When the pressure conflicts with the committee's mandate, the role requires judgment and not accommodation. You are exercising a poor judgment. Finally, integrity underpins everything. Trust allows a chair to ensure rules, manage disagreements, and move work forward, not antagonizing the public or calling them disgruntled or misrepresenting their statements. Chairing a committee is not a status. It's not about status and visibility. Unfortunately, it seems that's why you are here. You're here to feel good about yourself and make yourself feel important. It's about discipline, stewardship, and results. Choosing a chair should reflect that reality. Based on your comments today, falsifying the records from last time, your poor memory, your poor communication skills, your mischaracterization, and your disregard for public concerns, it disqualifies you, Ms. Megrabian and Mr. Hatamian. And that's my opinion, and you have to hear it. Thank you, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have. Awesome.
Thank you. Next item, please. Actually, we have to do the selection of the,
Reorganization.
yes. Do we have any comments based on the speaker's comments, or do we want to just move forward? Great. Do we have a nomination for, it would be the chair position first, right? Ms.
Correct.
Warpetian?
I would make a nomination of Commissioner McGrabian. It's my opinion that her service on the commission has been outstanding, that her service as vice chair has been outstanding, and it can be difficult sometimes. It's not easy, but I feel honored that to nominate her. I think she'll do an exceptional job, notwithstanding the comments that were just made.
Thank you, Commissioner Wynn.
Thank you, Commissioner Reen. Do we have a second?
So we don't need seconds for nominations, but we would ask for any other nominations at this point. And if there are none, then we would take a vote on that nomination. But if there is one, then we would structure it slightly differently.
Oh, thank you, Ms. Warpetian. Do we have any other nominations? I see none.
So now we would take a vote.
We will take a vote. May I please get roll call?
Commissioner McGrabian,
Do I get to vote?
Yes.
Yes, it would be my honor to serve as the chairperson of the commission.
Commissioner Jihanian,
Yes.
Commissioner Reen,
Yes.
Commissioner Naravian. Yes. Chair Hatamian.
Yes, I would like to congratulate Commissioner McGrabian in taking the chair position. Moving on to
Vice chair.
selecting a vice chair. Do we have a nomination? I would like to put in a nomination for Commissioner Reen as vice chair. Do we have any other nominations? I see none. May I please get a roll call?
Yes. Commissioner Jihanian,
Yes.
Commissioner Reen,
Abstain.
Commissioner Naravian. Yes. Commissioner Hatamian,
Yes.
and Chair McGrabian.
Yes, absolutely.
I would like to congratulate Commissioner Reen on taking the vice chair position. Do we make the rotation now, Ms. Varpetian?
That would be at your pleasure.
Absolutely. I would love to.
You don't want to finish off the last meeting?
I would love to pass it on and have you guys take over. That's how it was done for me, and I would like to pass this on to you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service. I think you can continue. there if you want. I just chose to sit there.
today, so I just sit here.
Yeah, I just chose to sit there because I liked it.
Okay,
You're welcome
there
to
you go.
Next to Carl, getting closer to Lucy.
Thank you, everyone. Can we please have the next item, Mr.
Yes.
Kwan?
Revised class specification and job bulletin for approval. Police Lieutenant.
Madam Chair, members of the commission, the item before you is the proposed revised class specification and job bulletin for the position of police lieutenant. Police management has requested two primary updates to the specification. Under education and training, police management would like to request the addition of the completion of the Supervisory Leadership Institute, SLI, as a desirable qualification. Note that this is explicitly listed as desirable and not mandatory. Therefore, applicants who have not completed SLI will not be excluded from the selection process. Under the experience requirement, the request is to remove the prior requirement specifying 1 year of experience as a field supervisor in patrol. The consensus is that prior field supervision in patrol is not an indicator of success nor suitability for promotion to the lieutenant rank, and therefore, the requirement has been eliminated to broaden eligible experience pathways. Since this is a sworn promotional recruitment within the police department, Civil Service Rule 4, Section 3C requires commission approval of the job bulletin prior to its posting. The selection process is consistent with the last lieutenant recruitment, which includes an application evaluation followed by oral assessment panels comprised of a professional panel and a community internal panel interview. The professional panel will include a tactical exercise as well as a professional panel interview. Subject to your approval tonight, we will post the bulletin January 20th through February 2nd, with examinations tentatively scheduled for the week of February 23rd. At the police department's request and pursuant to Civil Service Rule 4, Section 17, the eligible list for this recruitment will be valid for 1 year. The Glendale Management Association was provided the opportunity to review the proposed specification and bulletin. Their feedback was incorporated and no additional concerns were raised at the time of the agenda posting. The recommendation is that the commission approve the class specification and job bulletin for police lieutenant as submitted. If you have any questions, Deanne Snurl from Human Resources, as well as Captain Jason Ross from the police department are present to answer them.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Do we have any questions or comments?
I do have one question regarding the 1 year of patrol and field supervisor. I think, was that crossed off on page 10?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, and is there, I just want to know the rationale behind removing that.
certainly. I'll ask Captain Ross to come to the podium.
Thank you, Mr. Hatamian, for your service. Congratulations, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Esteemed members of the commission, we have recognized over the years that occasionally we have people promote to the rank of sergeant. Their initial assignment is in patrol as a field supervisor. Normally, they will remain there for several years until an opening comes up in a specialized assignment that they are suited to fill, and the department deems it necessary or appropriate to transfer them to that assignment. On occasion, people possess unique skill sets. At the sergeant rank, a very strong background in some very specific area of law enforcement, and a department need arises, and we transfer them out of patrol as a field supervisor into a specialized assignment. Fast forward 5, 6, 7 years later, they've done everything we've asked in a number of assignments. However, in order to fulfill department needs at the time when they were first promoted as a sergeant, we felt that it was appropriate to remove them from patrol with 8, 10 months experience, short of this 1 year requirement. Typically, it's because somebody is very, very good at what they do, and they have established in that 8, 10 months, whatever it may be, at the field supervision level, that they are performing at a level that we deem appropriate and we approve of, and have deemed them ready to move on into a specialized assignment. We don't want to punish them years down the road when they helped us in a need in a specialized assignment by accepting a transfer out of patrol to then make them somehow go back to finish the remaining 2 months or whatever it may be to meet this requirement.
Got it. So is it fair to say that the patrol requirement is more of a desirable versus a minimum requirement? Would you, if you had a candidate who had patrol versus somebody who didn't, is that kind of a desirable requirement, or is it just something that would not be considered?
Excellent question. So every individual who promotes to the rank of sergeant is transferred to patrol as a field supervisor. So by that very mechanism, every sergeant has patrol experience. What this does is it just erases the 1-year requirement because, like I said, on occasion, and it's a very rare exception, but we do have a few sergeants in our building, and I could see us in the future having additional sergeants that, based on their expertise and whatever it is that they do, in order to help the department fill an opening in a specialized assignment, we move them out and put them in that assignment. So every one of these candidates for lieutenant has field supervision experience in patrol. They all have it. It's just a matter of how much. And
Very
so
good.
this just makes it so that we're not punishing someone who's very good at what they do or was responsive to a need of the department and accepted a specialized assignment prior to that 1-year time.
Very good. Thank you for that.
Sure.
Any other questions or comments? I'm a little torn. Because what you're saying makes sense, and we
Sure.
don't want to punish people for not having the experience, except over 20 years of representing law enforcement, both small and big law enforcement agencies. Personally, I do believe you need that experience. So do you need to change your operations to make sure that your sergeants stay at least a year? Or do you make this requirement at least 6 months so that you're not punishing people? The way it's written, it's at 0. And I cannot in good faith agree that 0 experience in patrol is acceptable, because I believe a lieutenant needs to be able to have personal supervision of field operations. And I think you're cutting a lieutenant's experience short by allowing them to supervise field supervisors without having appropriate level of supervision themselves. So I think that we should have some sort of a limit, maybe not a year, but maybe 6 months, but something. I believe that field supervision is incredibly important for a lieutenant position. So when I looked at this, I just could not agree to it. I don't know what the solution is. I'd be happy to hear from my fellow commissioners and as well as yourself, Captain.
I can't speak of a solution, but I can say that obviously removing that section just gives you a wider pool, right, of candidates. And that's why I was asking whether or not it's more of a desirable when you have a sergeant who's done patrol, because I mean, there's a whole level of experience that comes from that.
Go ahead.
If I could, to me, I think with the explanation the captain has given us tonight, I think that the way it's framed makes perfect sense to me. And I'm prepared to vote yes as expressed. I don't think we need anything else. And the explanation is that everybody that is up for this position is going to have the requisite experience, maybe not a year, but enough. And so I'm going to defer to the police department as to what the necessities are of that particular position and not try and impose my view of what they should be doing. So that's my 2 cents.
I appreciate that. And this is a very rare exception. I can give a hypothetical. You could have someone who spent a number of years working homicide as an investigator, is also on our SWAT team, has demonstrated tremendous leadership at an officer rank. They promote to sergeant, go to patrol, and because of their tactical background, they excel. And they do fantastic as a field supervisor because of that tactical experience. Plus, they may have had a number of years as a field training officer or something else. And then a homicide sergeant opening comes up. The department, if we were wanting to play fair with the 1-year requirement, would, in order to not disadvantage this employee 5 years down the road when they want to test for lieutenant, would be forced to perhaps keep a position vacant and have detectives unsupervised for a couple years until the sergeant hits that 1-year mark. Because it is very difficult for a sergeant to leave a specialized assignment later on to go back to finish perhaps the last 2 months or something along those lines. I can tell you that nobody leaves patrol unless they have performed well in patrol as a field supervisor. We wouldn't take someone who's struggling in that field supervisor role and move them into a specialized assignment. We would consider other candidates if we thought that they had not done what we needed of them at the field supervision level. Some employees come into that field supervision position and thrive because of their background. Some need more time in patrol as a field supervisor to get that experience because maybe they don't have a tactical background in dealing with those things. This just makes it so that those few people on occasion who we have asked to move into a specialized assignment don't years down the road, because this is what we're talking about, is years down the road they're preparing to test for lieutenant, and we look back and go, ooh, years back, they answered the call when we needed them into a specialized assignment, and now they're short 2 months and are ineligible to test for lieutenant. And they may be an ideal or a very well-suited candidate for the position. So every single person who promotes to sergeant gets line-level supervision experience, many of them many years of that experience before getting into a specialized assignment. But on some rare occasions, you have a few people in our building who have been asked to fill a need before they've hit that 1-year mark, and that's done, not taking this into consideration. And then years down the road, they want to test for lieutenant. They're otherwise well-suited, and so for our sake, there are so many other criteria that go into this process with the interviews and those things. We're confident that removing this 1-year requirement doesn't produce a broader pool of unqualified candidates. This just helps to address a few people who, in very specific circumstances, didn't get this 1-year experience.
I guess you said what I was worried about, that it'll widen the pool, but the candidates will be unqualified.
No, I'm saying it would not.
It will not. And thank you for expressing that
Sure.
if the sergeant is not doing an excellent job in field training, in field supervision as a sergeant, you won't be putting them in a specialized position. That helps knowing.
Yeah, I guess what gives me a sense of comfort in kind of piggybacking on Commissioner Reen's comments is that, the experience reads 2 years of experience as a current Glendale police sergeant. So it's not that police sergeants from other agencies can apply and they lack field experience, because police sergeants in Glendale have field experience.
Yes.
Right, okay.
And so that sums it up for me.
And I appreciate the clarification.
Oh,
I
sure.
also appreciate Commissioner Reen's comments as well. Any other questions or comments? Are we ready for a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second?
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Jihanian?
I'm
Yes.
sorry, before we take a vote, was a new card submitted?
Item number 9.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry. Commissioner Jihanian?
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Reen?
Yes.
Commissioner Narabian?
Yes.
Commissioner Hatamian?
Yes.
Chair McGrabian?
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Captain. Have a good night.
Did-
Next
did-
time,
I'm sorry, did we approve the bulletin as well, or was that just the classification that was up on a motion?
Let's ask the maker of the motion.
I made the motion to approve both the bulletin and the class specifications.
Was that clear to all of you? If it wasn't, we should do it again.
let's just do it again just to make sure it's clear.
Okay.
Do I have a second for approving both the classification and the job bulletin?
I'll second that.
Okay, roll call, please.
Okay. Commissioner Jihanian?
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Reen?
Yes.
Commissioner Narabian?
Yes.
Commissioner Hatamian?
Yes.
Chair McGrabian?
Yes. Next item, please.
Revised class specification for approval, librarian.
Thank you. Madam Chair, members of the commission, this item before the commission is the revised class specification for the librarian classification in the Library, Arts, and Culture Department. The librarian series was last updated in September 2019 and includes library technician, library assistant, librarian, and librarian specialist. Since 2019, the department's operational needs have continued to evolve, and the librarian specification has been revised to better reflect the breadth of professional duties required in a full-service municipal library system. Key points of the revisions include updating the education to add Masters in Library Science, MLS or MLIS, from an American Library Association, ALA, accredited or reciprocal agreement institution. So adding that as a highly desirable. Since this is designated as highly desirable, applicants without the degree will not be excluded from consideration. The ALA is the recognized accrediting body for library science programs in North America and maintains reciprocal agreements internationally. The remaining revisions expand and clarify the essential functions section. These changes are intended to standardize the classification across library service areas, more accurately reflect the full scope of professional librarian work performed throughout the department, and support workforce development while maintaining flexibility to be applied across different library sections. Approval of this specification will establish a consistent framework for librarian classification. The library intends to review and revise the remaining classifications within the series in order to align these changes and promote consistency across the board. The GCEA, Glendale City Employees Association, was notified of the proposed updates, and their feedback has been incorporated. The recommendation is that the commission approve the revised class specification as submitted. If you have any questions, Alicia Taylor from Human Resources and Lessa Pelayo Lozada, Director of Library Arts and Culture, are present to answer them.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Do we have any questions or comments?
Excuse me, Madam Chair, we do have one card from Edmund Hakobian.
Sir? That's fine.
I understand that you're the chair, but I'm going to refer to you as Commissioner Megrabian because I don't think you're qualified to be a chair. I would appreciate it, as I saw earlier, and you're constantly mishearing and making mistakes with your comments. I would appreciate that you don't listen to the public, at least listen to staff. Think about it first, and to make sure you're making accurate comments. You have a critical role. It's not personal. If you feel you can't do the job, maybe you should resign and allow someone else to do it. If not, moving forward, maybe you should put some effort.
Would you please bring your comments to this agenda item?
Yes,
Okay.
those skills would be required to make a decision for the librarian position. So it's in regards to, is there a problem with it?
But so
No, I'm
far, we
asking
haven't
the-
heard any comments regarding this agenda item.
This agenda item
This
requires,
specific item, you're addressing the chair's skills versus comments as it relates to this item.
the chair's skills is required to listen and evaluate the staff proposal for the revised class specification for approval of the librarian,
It's
correct?
equally expected of all of the commissioners, not just the chair.
You can't force me, it's my opinion, I'm sharing it about the chair. Everyone else, I don't have any opinion on it. So,
We're not on that item. We're not on the chair selection item.
ma'am, I'm trying to ask the chair to focus on this agenda item and hear the staff.
Okay.
And I believe the chair have a deficit, so that's why I'm asking the chair to focus on what staff is saying.
Okay.
Is that okay? May I have my time, or? It's okay. So it's critical that you listen to staff and you don't impose your opinions based on your experience. Your experience doesn't, you don't have an experience as a librarian. You said you have in an earlier agenda item, you said you have experience with the police department, but you misheard things. So please, since you don't have any experience as a librarian, please make sure you revise them. And it would be beneficial to read to do your homework beforehand and read the proposal and the request so you don't make false statements. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Do we have any questions or comments from my fellow commissioners?
Madam Chair, so in terms of the revision, I understand the justification for adding the, the accreditation from the ALA, but when I read the class specification, it just seems a little confusing the way that it's placed. So it says education, what's required is a Master's of Library Science degree from an accredited college or university, but highly desirable Master's of Library Science degree from an ALA accredited or reciprocal agreement college or university. I totally understand, but the first time I read this, I was like, are these two the same things? Because the ALA part kind of got lost on me. I don't know if you all think that this is fine, or if perhaps there needs to be some clarification on it. It might just be fine the way it is. I just thought it seemed a little confusing.
I felt as though because the master's degree was made highly desirable, then the top line was meant to be crossed out, and maybe it wasn't. I felt that that was a typographical error, but if it's not, then I am also confused.
So I said, let's not presume and maybe ask
We would
HR
like-
or someone.
Yes, please, we would love to have an explanation.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Good
Thank you
evening.
for allowing me to share a little bit about our profession. So a Master's of Library Science degree are available from many different countries throughout the world. So that's why we have it as an educational requirement, to make sure that they at least have that basis and kind of standard for librarianship at the base. However, we would highly desire someone who has the accredited American Library Association degree specifically. ALA does not accredit all library programs throughout the world. They focus primarily on North America, and then they have reciprocal agreements with some international colleges and universities.
So it's kind of like law school. Some are accredited by the ABA and some are not.
Yes.
How about if we put, instead of a whole new line, we put a comma at the end of the first line and then put making an accredited degree from ALA highly desirable, to sort of clarify that it's part of it. You're distinguishing between accredited degrees versus non-accredited, because the way I read it now, it's a little confusing too.
Yeah, that's fine with us. Yeah, as long as it's designated.
Commissioners? Thoughts?
I think that's a good revision, but I have some further
Yes, go ahead.
questions if that's okay. So I guess my question is more directed to HR. So do we have the HR folks that worked on this present? Thank you.
Congratulations, Madam Chair, members of the commission. My name is Alicia Taylor. I'm an HR analyst at the City of Glendale.
Hi, Ms. Taylor. Well, welcome for being here. Thank you. I have a question regarding the revision. So on page 29, 30, 31, and so on, I see a lot of red. Red indicates additions and or revisions.
Correct.
Okay. And then it was also presented that the additions were met on with the unions in a meet and consent and or maybe even a meet and confer process.
Yes, they were sent the spec to review, and they saw the red marks in the revisions.
Okay, so the city made the revisions and then they sent it to the unions, and the unions, I guess based on what's presented to us, we wouldn't know what edits they made. Or is it that they just adopted, kind of like rubber stamped the city's revisions?
Yes, the union didn't make any revisions to those red marks in the essential functions or the cases, the knowledge, skills, abilities. That was what I worked with LESA to incorporate into this specification, and it was sent to the union, and they, like you said, rubber stamped it.
Okay, and the only reason I ask is just because it is significant, the changes, what I see. It's not the usual one-liners or
Yes.
two-liners where you're changing little minor things here and there. I just wanted to confirm that the union did in fact review it and approved all the changes, and that the changes are within the class specs.
Correct, yes.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Any questions in that regard?
No questions on my end. How about you, Commissioner Rin?
Well, if there's a change, I'm not sure I quite understand exactly the precise language that we would be approving. To me, with the explanation, I think it's clear that this ABA versus, like kind of accredited institution versus not accredited is clear enough as indicated. So I want to make sure if we're going to amend the language, that it's clear. And it's not clear in my mind exactly what the words were going to be and how they were going to be phrased.
I would think maybe because you have the education part and you have a Master's of Library Science, and then you go into highly desirable Masters of Library Science, maybe underlining American Library Association, right? So for the reader, it's easier to catch, it's easier on the eye. And so when they look at it, if an applicant is applying, we want to make sure that they, at first glance, kind of, okay. So maybe that would be a simple solution. What do my fellow commissioners think?
I think it would clarify it, just because when you look at it real quick, it could be a little confusing.
And maybe we could put that right under the first line so that there's no middle paragraph sort of dividing your thought from it and then coming back. I just think those two belong together, those two lines.
The only concern I have with that, Chair McGrabian, is that, and this is just food for thought, if we do break it up in between those two paragraphs, then you go from something that is a minimum requirement, which would be the Master's of Library Science degree, and then you'll go into a desirable, and then you'll go back into a minimum requirement. They clumped it up as minimum requirement and a desirable in order for the applicant to kind of be able to differentiate the two.
Okay, makes more sense. I think the underlining is the easiest way to go versus rewriting the whole thing. So if we don't have any more questions or comments, then I'd invite a motion on revising it as is, but adding the underlining of the American Library Association.
Would it grammatically help if American Library Association was in quotes or there was a dash before accredited?
I would think maybe the lining, bolding will catch the eye better, but it's up to, honestly, the reader.
Whatever best practices you all have to differentiate between, the two. I think even underlining, I think just stands out a little bit. I would just hate for somebody to not apply for the job if they're lost by this, or, hey, I don't want to pass up an opportunity for somebody.
I'm trying to think when I look online at all the hundreds of jobs in the city, if sometimes I think maybe a bold or an underline, do they always make it from what we're approving? Would that be consistently in the website that the public looks at? I guess it would, but I also think the idea of quotation marks is excellent, because then it's very clear. I think that's probably better than bold, because why is this bold? Is it super duper highly desired, or is that something? My son is a librarian with a master's, and so I'm pretty sure that if he read this, that he would know exactly what it is that's being talked about. But I think put the quotation mark, to me, is more appealing than bold or underline.
I don't have a preference as long as there's some sort of a delineation that lets someone's eye just go to it. So do we have a motion from anyone?
Okay,
Commissioner
I
Rin?
move that we approve this bulletin with the one change that we're going to put the American Library Association in quotation marks.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Jihanian,
Yes.
okay, Commissioner Reen,
Yes.
Commissioner Naravian,
Yes.
Commissioner Hatamian,
Yes.
Chair McGrabian.
Yes. Next item, please.
Reports and information, employee job performance evaluations past due aging report.
Ms. Martin?
Madam Chair and members of the commission, before you is an informational report on evaluations. As of the latest update, 10 departments have no past due evaluations, and 4 departments have a total of 12 evaluations on first notice. As you can see, the response rate remains very good, and there are no evaluations currently on second notice. If the commission has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, this is a note and file item.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. I commend the departments for doing such a good job and upkeeping on their performance evaluations.
Thank you.
Ditto. That's a great job. Thank you.
One additional note that I'll make is that since our last meeting, there have not been any requests or approvals of temporary acting assignment extensions. Therefore, a report has not been submitted in this packet.
Thank you for that. Okay, next item, please.
Civil Service Commission, staff comments.
Do we have any staff comments?
I do have one comment. I just want to wish everybody a happy new year. 2026 started off with a bang. There's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot going on at work. And I'm very, very grateful for being in the United States of America. The reality is that I immigrated here at a young age. I was in 5th grade. I went to John Marshall. I came here when I was a refugee in Germany. And, you know, it just makes me appreciate every time I open up my feed, I see what's going on across the world as to how fortunate we are, where we stand, where we can express ourselves, we can express our opinions, we can, you know, talk about things, we can, you know, we can live freely, and we have security here. You know, I remember as a kid where I lived, there was a war going on, and our cities were getting, you know, pummeled, bombed. And it was, you know, difficult as a child. It was difficult even as an adult. And so when you look at the news nowadays and you realize where you are and where you stand, it just makes you feel so fortunate. So my comment is, you know, we started the Pledge of Allegiance due to a commissioner's comments and suggestions. And it really does make me appreciate every time I look to my side and I see the flag, I realize where we are.
Thank you, Commissioner Hatamian. Any other comments? Okay. Did we have a disciplinary portion of this meeting, and should we end the meeting and go to the next one, or how do we proceed?
Yes.
Okay,
I
is
believe-
that continued as well?
It is, but it is on the agenda, so we'll read it into the record.
And then,
Okay, next item, please.
Public employee disciplinary hearing.
At the behest of the employee, this item is being postponed to a future meeting. It will likely be in March. We will work with the chair in agendizing it again.
Thank you so much. Okay, and next item, please.
Adjournment.
Okay, everyone, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week. And thank you for your meeting, and thank you so much for nominating me and voting me into this wonderful position. And I do not take it lightly. I am very honored, and I promise to serve the city to the best of my abilities. And with that, we are adjourned. Thank you.